This is the Blissful Night's E4 King adjustable bed frame. And the real win here is how quietly and easily it lets me find a comfortable position without stacking pillows or waking anyone up. It takes the little hassles out of bedtime and turns them into a routine I actually look forward to. I think of this as a modern adjustable base for people who want control over how they sit, read, watch, sleep, and recover. It makes the most sense if you share a bed, deal with back or neck discomfort, watch television in bed, or just want the option to fine-tune your position without a pile of cushions. If you are using a platform or storage bed, or you like a clean, minimalist look, this one fits right into that setup. The design kept winning me over once I had it assembled and living in my room. The frame has a clean rectangular shape with a neutral gray that blends in with different headboards and bedding, so it does not hijack the look of the room. The finish is powder-coated, which sounds like a small thing, but it helps it feel less like a clunky piece of equipment and more like something that belongs in a bedroom. It sits low, and the zero clearance design means there is barely any gap between the base and the floor, which is great for a platform bed, and also for anyone who hates dust bunnies. Even with that low stance, it still feels substantial. When I press on the corners or sit down quickly, I do not get any wobble or flex. It just feels planted and confident. The size matters here. This is a king, and it is genuinely roomy. I sleep with a memory foam mattress on top, and I like to sprawl. There is space for me, a partner, and a pet without bumping into each other when I adjust positions. If you have never used an adjustable base, the goal is simple. You raise the head, you raise the foot, you go flat, you pick a preset, you nudge a little higher or lower if you want. Done. Setup was less stressful than I expected, and I say that as someone who is not excited about moving heavy furniture. The bed weighs around 130 pounds, which is not light, so I slid the carton close to where the base would live and opened it there. The parts list is short, which helped me stay calm. I screwed on the legs, connected the cable for the universal serial bus ports, added batteries to the remote, and clipped in the mattress retainer at the foot. The only moment I had to pause was to confirm the orientation of the head and foot motors. I double-checked the manual, and it clicked into place. Once I sorted that out, actual assembly took me about 20 minutes on my own. If you are worried about putting it together, my advice is to give yourself a little space to work and do not rush. It is very doable. The first night I used it, the silence stood out. The motors move the head and foot smoothly and at a steady, controlled pace, and they are impressively quiet. I can change positions while someone is asleep next to me and not get dirty looks. There is no squeaking, no rattling, and no bed frame bounce. The stop points are accurate. If I lift the head a touch then tap down, it lands exactly where I wanted. The remote helps a lot with that. It is wireless, it sits nicely in my hand, and the layout is simple enough that I did not need to memorize anything. I will say the labels are a little hard to see in a completely dark room, but after a week, my thumb knew where everything was. Performance for a bed frame sounds funny, but it is a real thing. The biggest performance wins are patience, smoothness, and quiet. The television preset puts me in that easy chair position that is great for shows, and it holds me there without any shimmy. The zero gravity preset is the one that surprised me. It raises the head and feet to mimic a reclined, weightless feel. I sit at a desk all day, and I sometimes get a tight lower back. In zero gravity, my lower back pressure lifts in a way that I feel within seconds, and after 10 minutes, my hips and hamstrings relax. The Anti-Snore preset raises the head just enough to open airways. During a week when allergies had me all stuffed up, it genuinely made breathing easier, and my partner said I was quieter. There is also a massage function with vibration motors near the head and feet. It is not a deep tissue massage. Think of it as a gentle humming that takes the edge off after a long day. I usually set it to a middle speed for 10 or 15 minutes while I read, and it helps me wind down. Beyond the presets, what I appreciate is the fine control. Some nights I only want a tiny lift under my knees. Other nights I want my head a little higher for reading, but not so high that I feel like I am in a chair. Each tap gives me a small, predictable change. The movements never feel jerky or rushed, and when I stop, the base does not drift or sag. Real-world use brought out a few details I did not expect to like as much as I do. The underframe light is a small light emitting diode strip that gives a soft glow on the floor. When I get up in the middle of the night, that light is just bright enough to help me see without waking me up fully. The dual universal serial bus ports on the side are a quiet luxury. I plug in a phone and a tablet without dragging cords across the room. I never thought I would care about that, and now I use it every night. There are a couple of practical notes from my day-to-day with it. If you own a traditional spring mattress, make sure it can flex with an adjustable base. My memory foam mattress bends without complaint and stays in place with the retainer bar. If you have pets or small kids, pay attention before changing positions. The base sits low, but curious animals can try to slip near it, and I always glance around before I press a button. Also, when the head section is fully raised for television mode, my nightstand feels a little farther away, so I nudged my lamp and water bottle closer. Not a deal breaker, just a small adjustment to the room. I put the E4 through a bunch of normal scenarios. After a long run, I kicked on the massage at the foot and set my legs up a bit higher than usual. 10 minutes later, the heavy feeling in my calves eased up. On a rainy Sunday, I watched 2 movies back-to-back in the television preset with a couple of tiny tweaks, and I did not feel that neck pinch that I get on a stack of pillows. On a rough workday, I used zero gravity for 15 minutes to reset my back, then flattened out for sleep. The switch from preset to flat is quick and gentle, which matters when I am half asleep. The base never creaked, even when I rolled from side to side, and the frame always felt quiet and stable. For a specific use case, reading at night has changed the most. I used to wedge 2 pillows behind my shoulders and another under my knees. Now I lift the head just enough to keep my neck neutral, add a small lift to my feet, and turn on the underframe light. My shoulders stay relaxed, the book stays at a comfortable angle, and when I feel sleepy, I tap flat and I am done. It is a small routine, but it adds up. A few thoughtful touches make a difference. The zero clearance design means I could set it on a platform bed without raising the whole setup higher than I wanted. The mattress retainer bar at the foot is sturdy, and because the base is wide and stable, my mattress does not slide. I also had a question about settings a few days in, and Blissful Nights answered me within a day with a clear solution. That kind of support matters for something I use every single night. There are trade-offs, and I want to be straight about them. The massage is a pleasant vibration, not a kneading massage. If you expect a massage chair level of pressure, you will not get that here. The remote could be a touch brighter in the dark, though as I said, muscle memory takes over. The base is heavy, which is good for stability, but it means you should plan your path before you carry the carton inside. So, who is this for? If you want a solid, adjustable base that feels sturdy, moves quietly, and gives you real control over comfort without making your bedroom look like a hospital, this is it. If you value little nightly comforts like reading without neck strain, easing lower back pressure, and being able to breathe a bit better when allergies act up, it delivers. If you are upgrading from a standard fixed frame, you will notice the difference on night 1. I would recommend it to anyone who wants reliable adjustability, simple controls, a clean look, and a few smart extras that you will actually use. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the Blissful Nights FR King adjustable bed frame. Thank you for watching.